Executive of the UDP, we are very pleased to welcome you to another briefing at the Nigerian Bureau. We thank you as usual for coming. We need to reflect on its history. I think it's extremely important to remember that we are still transitioning from dictatorship. We would like our compatriots to reflect on the fact political activity has been disproportionately against to come out and set the record straight. To the rule of law, I don't think any government or even our adversaries at the moment will down our government. But there are laws in the law books of the Gambia that seriously need to be reformed. These reforms, time without number. So it is in this context that we would urge our compatriots, the National Human Rights Commission, Interparty Committee, all the stakeholders, our development partners, law reform as a way to deal with our democratization process. On that here, it is my great pride and honor and privilege to invite the Secretary General and the party leader, His Excellency Hussein Gabo, to address the media. Thank you again.
That brief and eloquent intermedia. I hope you all had a good weekend. Ibrahim Adiba did not have a good weekend because I'm sure his usual Afra, so he could have had a good weekend. But so we certainly did one thing that the media and indeed the political class is that the president is mandated by the Constitution to familiarize himself with the current state of affairs as well as personally mandated to and indeed now what in the last as they would say target individuals for statements. He was in cohort with the business community, and then I think it was corruption in this country. What policies he has for them. Instead of the president in the health sector, Randa Boy, to the extent of really also saying that it will be the NAS that will take it over. It's sort of statement that you would hear from leaders that are people. It was not only that we find unpresidential, but it was also make statements that are incendiary, statements that really urge the Democratic Party will be prepared to use violence. We are not compromising on that. We will use violence. We will meet you with violence. That we certainly will not sit down who believes that he has the backing of the government of the Gambia to make violence to us, meet that violence with violence. That is not a threat. I want to tell you, Mr. President, asking your people to use violence against us, we will use violence to defend ourselves. If you think you can use the security forces against us to meet any section of the security forces, be they police, be they citizens of this country, if you want to use them against us, weaponize them against us, we will certainly discuss to people who do not have rights in this country. Die for it, and we are prepared to go to make sure that this country is governed by the laws. One also wants to really misuse the laws by giving improper orders. In fact, the arrest of Mr. Diba has really made us be better resolved and to dictator to keep that form, what we did to keep it under control. We will do the same thing. Government will do the same thing with you, Adama Barrow. Allow you to really come. I'm trying to use the right words, not really to be insulting, not to be. We will keep you at bay as we did with Jamia. No amount of intimidation will cow us down. We want to tell you the rights are protected. Cannot keep on intimidating us. What we expect the environment that allows for free political discourse and weaponize the police against the United Democratic Party under the leadership of Honorable Hassan Jallo will not be weaponized. I cannot say so for the police. But whatever you do up against those institutions. And I want to advise of investigations, those who are in charge of prosecution, that you were in this country in the under the Jammeh era. You all exiled because the conditions in this country, because the police was being weaponized. Who are today in responsible position in the police because of the weaponization of the police. You left this country, went abroad, you have your families there. You have come. Do not allow yourself to be used by the Barrow. I can tell you, we still have our connections in the United Kingdom, in all other countries in Europe, the democratic countries of Europe. And we are cataloging all that we are doing. Your families in jeopardy by really helping and undemocratic, by helping a government, and you know the consequences of that for your family. Give those governments all the things that we are in this country, so that your families now, so that we can get back your families sent back. to Gambia, and we can do it. All the things that we are cataloging, and we are going to hand them over to the governments of the United States of America and to the government of the United Kingdom, because you cannot really enjoy, or your families cannot continue being used as instruments. You are here used as weapons against parties or organizations that are doing, all that they are doing is their rights to do. So this is an advice to members weaponized, that in allowing yourself to be used as weapons in those countries, you are exposing them to being what they are using. You are putting them in jail because they can be sent back, because there's no longer the issue. Why? The issue of fearing any persecution. Now, are engaged in insults. I don't think it can be as false as that. It's the greatest falsehood that the bar are peddling about. Who started insults in this country? Who started insults in this country? Who started insults? Remember, in December 2018 or so, stone for the roads and the bridges in URR was being laid. Everybody. You, in fact, you addressed the nation that day in local language in Mandinka after presenting the English version. He said, atalo mara pati odu wa mutonya leti but nimme ko etalo modi wa muli yale. Who said reference to me? You can say you own United Democratic Party, but if you say you own, so people want to believe that United Democratic Party is the party that insults. It is NPP. Didn't we see a nominated member of parliament at I-22 address Gambian people, an event that was covered by GR? Did we hear her say, what can be more insulting than that? You don't think that is seditious? If you say, Imam Felno, they clap for only Honorable Ahmad Ba, Batu of Subsatori. Arma Barol clapped his hand, Keba Jahilo, disharmony, disunity, and disaffection. As far as I know, fellow, that in English, I think it means English. So, if one, and that term is supposed to be used to familiarize yourself with the impact of government policies. So, say this is a narcotic, you reduce that to caricaturing people that they have lost. Certainly, someone who is ignorant of the import people who are ignorant of that will certainly do this sort of things. And certainly, if he doesn't know it, he's ignorant of it. A man won it. Yeah? But that in this government would have made some savings. In every region in this country, you have a regional director of health. What do you need? And of course, representatives of the Ministry of Local Government. But you have every governor, so that all the departments in the regions. Do you need to take the permanent secretaries and their ministers? By the local people, the local communities, on the state of education, the regional directors of education are there. People can talk about them, and then when the president finishes his job, reports will be compiled. So that is waste of ministers. And then, of course, you see an array of, and these people, they are all catered for. In terms of accommodation, you cannot have really at all as wasteful. You have your AI companies there, your chairman, all these people. There, how many government vehicles have been deployed? National Assembly put the right questions. What is fuel that is used, that was consumed in this store? Government. So it's into the millions. All doing what? To promote NPP agenda. Well, at the expense of the government taxpayers. And the period, the situation in these countries, no government will really do that. If it is for inauguration of the hospitals or the clinics, as I said, been the honor to do that, particularly the clinic in Jali. Honor to really inaugurate that in his own home village. But it's all politics, and I think that that's not the only thing that we think President Adama Barrow has about corruption. Even in the State of the Nation address, if it mentions it, it will just be 2 lines office. Since when did he leave office? It's almost coming to a year. The reason Kamalu area, have you heard anything about that since then? Passport issue, there were updates about it, but since Abasanyan left office, we have not had anything. We of the United Democratic Party believe that Abasanyan's case, because if it is pushed, mentioned, and there would be deal with Abasanya without really dealing with those people through your spokesperson and tell us what is happening. Plan at Kamado. But there's a property on South Atlantic Road, which is the official residence of the Chief Justice. Should that be reserved as the official residence of the Chief Justice? It's a government property. It's because that meant for the official residence of the Chief Justice. But for you now to clear it, I am told that one of your friends, because when we found Jaite, permanent secretary, and the others, not that they have done what they have done is right, what they have done is wrong. That's why they have been tried. If the rate is not a layout, that we say you apply in the normal way, having given directive to the Ministry for Lands to give that. Tell us the names of the businessmen who built your bureau in Bansam, the one that is being constructed in Brikama, and the one that is going to be constructed in Banjul. In building these bureaus, we are constructing a bureau in Soma. I think for the past 5-6 years, we have been constructing it. It's coming from the I don't think you call that one as a NAR bureau, because that's a story building. We built it. Tell us the business, unless you can tell us that the money comes from clean sources. We are not saying this, but it's mark of corruption unless there is clarity. But if you have revelations that are coming out of the local government inquiry, would at least get the Minister for Local Government already becoming the chairman of the OIC. I'll always congratulate it. It's a pride for all of us Gambians. So it fit. Really, cede chairmanship of that organization to you. I congratulate that your tenure as chairman of OIC is successful. I've seen those vehicles give it to ministers. I think that is wrong, Mr. President. Those vehicles, listen, we must leave those vehicles and they become to constitute the fleet conference vehicles. We have seen them with ministers. This morning, this afternoon, I saw one of them, minister. And before I got here, I crisscrossed the road with another one, and I dismissed it. That it was being shared. That one particular individual, well, I dismissed that as not true. But it's possible that that particular individual had two. Use of those vehicles. After all the ministers had their vehicles. Why do we have to give them new vehicles? And by the way, when the resources have been supplied, what about the remainder? We are not being told anything, and we are not told what is happening to them.
Unit cost.
Again, Mr. President, it's 12 million per vehicle. So 12 times 17. Times 17. You are the calculator. You use your calculator, and you'll be able to tell us that there's something crooked. But I'm saying that $1 million is for the 17. We as a party are not of those vehicles. Through your secretary. one thing that is that there will be a new constitution. Now, it is, and we are going to 9 years since Jammeh left this country. Since then, the moderator referred to have not been undertaken. Still, you have the laws of Jammeh's time. In fact, Adama Barrow brags about it. Lual made Mr. President. You have really betrayed the Gambian people. Because if you can brag about that, Lual made Jammeh Bujjan, and you will work a little bit. That should be a shame. You should be president, you should be ashamed. You will do away with all those laws and put in place better laws for the people of the Gambia. Means that we give the good constitution, you still have not. And the utterances of some of your defenders. Constitution does not have a provision for a 2-term limit. But the ECOWAS protocol, which was adopted by the Gambia before Adama Barrow became president, a 2-term limit. So those false intellectuals. So are you telling me that independent candidates who contest elections and because they have not contested on the platform of a political party, what can be a convoluted argument? Do not that one. We do not expect such type of argument to come from our intellectual class. That is, contest as an independent, win. That we can win as many as 10. You can contest as many. You can go in as many as 10 times. But we are saying, Mr. President, bring back our constitution. We understand that you have not really agreed with your people. From the constitution that the CRC presented to the cabinet, you are killing the constitution before it arrives in National Assembly. Because we have said that any negotiation has to be on the floor of the National Assembly. Whatever is to be deleted, whatever is to be added, not at any other level. Because if you do, United Democratic Party is going to reject it. That we are not hiding our position on that. So if you really want the CRC constitution, we take it to the National Assembly and all the negotiations will be done. Whatever we are conceding, we will consider that level. Whatever we are not conceding, we will not at that level. You to make this position of United Democratic clear and sing it every day. And we will sing it every day at every opportunity. That will make them bring something different from that of the CRC. I read a press statement, or not, a press release by the ministries, President of Permanent Secretaries. We are deployed. Those people are not redeployed because the example is that those people were deployed to the office of the ministry to suffocate and stultify their deputies. But there's one thing that I know: no party should do anything that will really remove the carpet and that will interfere with the matter before a court. And I believe that a government that followed principle and lived But what is more is that you can only redeploy or deploy, public servants whose appointments are regular. And what they do not know, whose appointment is not legal. So we are going there. So they have not escaped. I think the Public Service Commission acting on the advice about, honestly, a government that really responds to the aspects. I thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for that extemporaneous and brilliant state of affairs in the Gambia. I'm sure the ladies and gentlemen of the and it is necessary from time to time to have direct response.
No, sikay tanu nu iba mol promote la le nu be do le mo le. So So ye koy be ko katan ga ko ninjul ko tan Ibrahima di bani men fatel wallahi Dr. Smith say afle kam ko clueless president ay afle clueless mum ne so adutel le buli baji bele belo ñor lanka ndesi la de ngam lol kafu ñoma de yella pilla ba diate ñame de la silo ani ko to kala fanam belo la den sembe ni men dina fanam bo kala de be mbude la dro ka ga sembo bar bi do ga ko dem fandi fel ani wata talla je so ni sembo na ni fitno na tan kan ye fitno ñori ka si fitno tan ngani ñori ka mbode banda fana moy ko nan mo kande bannin na mo mela ka ko fitno boyi kan bafula na mo ko ni fitno boyal kan alfana ni fitno ñol ali fitno ta ka ñori ka ni bibitu mele an police odo tellement ko tano ni mediate yake ni be fasaro kala fanya kan yake fanya kan ni be fanya nyatama le to nyatama it's as simple as that mantra fana ma ka na mole ko ye fitno wule ma ko alunen to fana bar fana te sila fana ko president ko ali kalendi sembo bendela mbal ko ha ilo sembo de nina ilo sembo e boy tanga ninda se bendaya fana be kalen la ne self defense Well, nto jabudo di no le sainten kadu fanga advice ta panel pour nyata tamida silo menna bari même fo mani kon ko mo inibo kino e mo non bari ni bo ko wo yo don ni ko mo fata to mo mena do mo be yalla kat ka ko amanta mo ma fata li bezu gambia be dunia be ba ko ila nar biro ko abina la bana ka ko daga ta ni na patio ni funding ko be ko ke kam funding ko le sa ci la bando na ro membu na patio ko no ko mun won tali be su ba juduna ya kuma ba kuma do me ya no ka ko mo ma jiki alfa so fo surtout president ka ko be jutula ka ko mo juta na ro le wala ya na biro di yela ko nar bi ko juta na ro le bar na ro si ata janne de nar ba do bi janne nar do kan bi janne nar fongol bi janne murdan na ro bi janne siranol bi janne nar ro si ata janne adu na banko la economy naro jamale be na banko la economy o jamale bu janne fo nar ba ru plomba ko e jutu tawul ni da yela do dans do wala fasile kata wato e jutu naro la fo ka ba ni be naro le do la il faut ngal lafta ka ab do yaro la de butik nar do yaro jutu naro ajuta naro la wala na yo fo bar fo si fansi si la ta no jo not wo be lo ya de bulu wal si so itande
that unity between that uphold the rules of law and democratic principles. Thank you.
We certainly believe in the rule of law and democratic. You continue to really, that is unlawful, anything that is undemocratic, but we will also not fold our hands. We will not do that. We have a right to self-defense. That is a principle of law. Defense is permitted by law. We expect a government to encourage the president of the country to really incite people to violence. And that is why we say, if NPP people come to us with violence to us, we meet them with violence. We cannot just sit down there and let them do whatever they want to do. Assault us physically, maim us, could even kill us, cause of injury. We will not allow that. We will exercise our right to self-defense. But if they assault us, we will defend ourselves. And that is a principle that we are valuing.
Will be the last question.
Karena kodo bondi ka masa sa diamda imedam adita noda yek doko da e boyka afa konko abenyi menga kamanga la to kada woto silo e mengi wala kito la ita yesa makito ya kito mu loli ala nyami dalu ka fa bo nyali ado ba dan kanyu fa kama ko e manyan ni kala manyan ni ngala aka kito stalo against us as kenole barbito tala ibrahim dibala fonko so to meli alon ka ko ye wasa al halo be nyama toni aje yam daga badam ka manjare ngata je adu no ya fanade no ya mel bijeto yam wasale ya wasal ñin dole ni ajen ta dem tebta la ñin dole e ka bu ñame rosti malla fi nga ngam wala dina la ngal wal wala da ko badu no fon ko
Yes, gentlemen. Last question.
Yeah, nothing else. I would like that from Asati.
Asati.
Give me a preparation to make it clear that use your mic. That might be perhaps script from the German player. Ask your claim. We press people on the rules of democracy. Is it safe to say that democracy was adopting this
I have said in the past that the Gambia is gradually sliding into dictatorship. Gambia is sliding into dictatorship. In Jammeh's time, it's exactly what is happening now. APRC people will go to the police and complain that I just kind of UDP. This is what is also happening with the current regime. The NPP people are saying, name man who can you do? They're going to arrest them. The man is in NPP people in Madinah who went and reported him. They went and picked it up. And then, your complaint is in audio. You arrest the person, you listen to the audio. Do you still have to keep it for some? And that is what was happening in Jammeh's time. So they use the police as weapons to really to investigate what you have found on the audio. If Ibrahim Adiba said anything, it was said several days before he came here. You heard it. If you had anything to investigate, period, just allow the clock to tick until 72 hours, then you decide to release the person. So that is weaponization. That is what's happening in Jammeh time. So it's happening now. Everything that Jammeh was doing is happening now. Was Jammeh not going on the meet the farmer or meet the farmer store politicking? No, it's the same thing that is happening now. So there's no difference. Sorry.
In what way does the UDP plan address what's distributing and promoting NPP and UDP? And my second question is, what was the root cause of the debt between the father and the son?
Thank you. That's the last question.
Well, you know, and all of us doing our thing without really being enemies. We can do that. You see, some years ago, when NPP was trying to get APRC, in Kalindi, he said to them, Jane Dolan Singnon, UDP, Moy Singnon. So they're the ones who said that UDP is their enemy. We have always that we disagree with you, but that does not make us enemies. But they are the ones who categorize us as their enemy. So if anything, they are the ones who should really making efforts to ensure that this, what they call enmity, does not exist between. And indeed, as I always said, President Adama Barrow has been the one who has been elected, rightly or wrongly, to lead the affairs of this country. So the burden on him, of the country. So enmity also, if anything, they are the ones who consider us as their enemies. We consider the anti relationship. I'm not sure. If there was anything about father, son, then someone projected himself as son so that he can get themselves as really rivals, and you can say a unity between UDP and NPP. I'm not sure whether we are separate parties. We are separate party from you don't see that there is no enmity between us and GDC. Except that we are their enemies, they treat us as enemies. So it is for them to disabuse their minds that UDP is their enemy, that UDP is just another.
Thank you very much. Yes, we haven't got anything to offer you apart from little refreshment. Yes. But we are all compatriots, and we are grateful that whenever to talk to Gambians on burning issues, on urgent democratic issues, you come and listen and ask questions. And I'm sure stay talking at the time. What has become of that? These are the issues that we hope our leaders across the board settle to do so.